Welcome to the part two of this meeting. In this part, I'm going to try and convince you to use an 18 gauge 1 centimeter active tip, which is curved, and why this has various advantages comparing to the other lesions. Hi, this is just to show you the equipment that we use for radio frequency denervation. We generally like to use an 18 gauge 1 centimeter active tip needle, which is curved at the tip. So come closer. So each manufacturers will have different ways of the curve. So for example, this is an Abbott 18 gauge Neurotherm needle. You can see a dot at the level of where the introduction is, and the curvature is facing towards the dot. This is important because when you turn this black dot, that's the direction the needle is going to turn. So in essence, the black dot tells you which direction to turn. If you move medial, the needle goes medial. If you go lateral, the needle goes lateral, inferior, and superior. So this is useful to try and navigate the needle where you want it to go. I normally use 4 needles so that I can place 2 needles, and while they're being denervated, I place the other 2 needles. And we use pure local anesthetic for both the skin and infiltration throughout. So why 18 gauge? And I think of all the RF cannulas that we use, which are 22 gauge, 20 gauge, 18 gauge, a small work was done looking at the size of the lesion. This is egg white where the denervation is being carried out, and you can see the size of the lesion. As you can see, the 18 gauge with 10 millimeter bent tip gives you a reasonable size burn, and this is important for getting a good denervation. Also, you need to remember that you're not placing the needle perpendicular to the nerve. You want it parallel to the nerve so that we can get most of the nerve by this technique. So why curvature is another advantage? Because if you think about the nerve is running in this groove between the superior articular process and the transverse process, if you have a straight needle, it can be quite difficult to get it in this groove. Whereas when you have a curved needle, you can actually curve it in to hug the process. And I think this way I find a curved needle offers a major advantage in actually getting the needle close to the nerve that we are trying to denervate.